The crystal chandeliers of the Grand Hyatt ballroom glittered like stars trapped in ice. But the air between Marcus and his brother Ethan crackled with unspoken venom. As the family toasted to another year of Harrington Enterprises' success, Marcus, the iron-fisted CEO, leaned in close to Ethan, his voice a low hiss masked by the clinking glasses. "You're a disgrace, parading around with that man of yours. Pack your things and get out of my life before you drag the family name through the mud." Ethan's face drained of color, his fork clattering against the porcelain plate. He'd known this confrontation was coming, the whispers from relatives, the sidelong glances at board meetings, but hearing it from Marcus, his older brother, the one who'd raised him after their parents' death, cut deeper than any knife. How could he do this? After everything we've been through, he's choosing the company's image over me? Ethan's mind raced, replaying childhood memories of Marcus shielding him from bullies, teaching him to tie a tie, promising they'd always have each other's backs. But now, at 32, Ethan stood exposed, his relationship with his partner David no longer a secret he could bury under late nights at the office. The room blurred as Ethan pushed back his chair, the scrape echoing like a gunshot in his ears. He wanted to scream, to shatter the facade of this perfect family gathering, but the weight of expectation pinned him down. If I fight back, I'll lose everything, the inheritance, the connections, maybe even David if the pressure breaks us. Marcus's wife, Lydia, averted her eyes, fiddling with her diamond necklace, while their aunt murmured something about traditional values. Ethan grabbed his coat and stormed out, the cool New York night air slapping his face like a rebuke. Back at his apartment in Brooklyn, David waited, his warm embrace a temporary salve. "He'll come around," David whispered, but Ethan doubted it. Marcus has always been the rock, unyielding. What if this is the end? The next morning, Ethan's phone buzzed with a formal email from Harrington's HR. Termination effective immediately, citing conduct unbecoming of company standards. Conduct? Loving someone? The injustice burned in his chest, a fire that spread to his thoughts. He paced the small living room, fists clenched. I've given 10 years to that company, building the tech division from scratch. And for what? To be tossed aside like yesterday's news because I'm gay? David urged him to sue, but Ethan hesitated. The scandal would destroy the family legacy their parents had built. Dad would be ashamed of us both, he thought, sinking onto the couch. Memories flooded. Their father's stern lectures on propriety, their mother's quiet pleas for unity. Ethan had hidden his sexuality for so long, fearing this exact fallout. Now, unemployed and disowned, he felt adrift, questioning every choice. Was coming out worth this isolation? Or should I have stayed in the closet, safe but suffocating? As days blurred into weeks, Ethan scraped by on freelance coding gigs, the sting of betrayal festering. Marcus's calls went unanswered. Ethan couldn't bear the hypocrisy. He preaches family above all, yet here I am, exiled. One evening, sorting through old family photos in a dusty box, Ethan stumbled upon a faded letter from their father, dated before his death. It mentioned a family secret Marcus was sworn to protect. What secret? Curiosity gnawed at him, but he shoved it aside, focusing on survival. David suggested therapy, but Ethan resisted, admitting vulnerability felt like another defeat. I have to prove I'm stronger without them. Yet, late at night, doubts whispered. What if Marcus is right? What if my life choices are tearing us apart? Social media amplified the pain. Posts from the Gala showed Marcus beaming with investors, captioning, "Family first." Liar, Ethan seethed inwardly. He blocked the accounts, but the hurt lingered. Friends offered sympathy, but their pity only deepened his isolation. They don't understand the weight of legacy, the pressure to conform. Ethan began journaling his thoughts, pouring out the rage and sorrow. Marcus, you were my hero. Now you're the villain in my story. How do I forgive that? The entries grew darker, exploring the moral quandary. Was blood thicker than prejudice? Or had Marcus's actions severed that bond forever? By month's end, Ethan landed a job at a startup in Silicon Valley, a fresh start away from New York's suffocating shadows. Packing his life into boxes, He paused at a photo of him and Marcus as kids, arms around each other. We were unbreakable once. Tossing it in, he vowed to rebuild without regret. But as the plane lifted off, a seed of unease planted itself. What if there's more to Marcus's hatred than meets the eye? What if it's not about me at all? The California sun beat down on Ethan's new apartment in Palo Alto, a far cry from Brooklyn's grit, but the change did little to quiet the storm inside him. Every success here feels hollow without family to share it, he thought, staring at his reflection in the bathroom mirror, lines of exhaustion etching his face. At the startup, he threw himself into code, algorithms becoming his escape from the gnawing void left by Marcus's rejection. David had joined him, their relationship a fragile anchor amid the upheaval. But even that strained under the weight. "You're distant, Ethan," David said one night over takeout, his voice laced with hurt. "It's like Marcus took a piece of you with him." Ethan snapped back. "He did. He took everything." The argument escalated, words flying like shards of glass. "Why am I pushing him away? He's the one good thing left." Guilt twisted in his gut as David stormed out for a walk. Alone, Ethan replayed the gala in his mind. Marcus's cold eyes, the finality in his voice. Was it really about the company, or something deeper? Something he's hiding? Back in New York, Marcus buried himself in work, board meetings a blur of numbers and negotiations. Lydia noticed his restlessness, the way he stared at old photos on his desk. "You did what you had to," she said softly, but Marcus waved her off. "Did I?" Ethan's face haunts me. The betrayal in his eyes. Nights were the worst. Insomnia clawed at him, forcing confrontations with his conscience. I raised him like a son. How could I cast him out? But the board, the investors, they'd never accept it. He rationalized, but doubt crept in. Is this prejudice mine, or inherited from Dad? An unexpected call from their Aunt Eleanor shattered the fragile peace. "Marcus, there's something you need to know about your father," she said, her voice trembling. "He had affairs with men." Marcus froze, the phone slipping slightly. "Impossible." Dad was the pillar of morality. But Eleanor persisted, sending scanned letters from their father's youth, passionate notes to a male lover, hidden for decades. Reading them, Marcus's world tilted. This explains his rages, his insistence on proper behavior. Shock morphed into anger. He hypocritically condemned what he himself indulged in. The revelation burrowed deep, stirring memories Marcus had suppressed. In college, a fleeting attraction to a roommate, quickly buried under ambition and societal expectations. Was that why I reacted so harshly to Ethan? Fear of my own shadows? He confided in no one, the internal conflict raging. If I tell Ethan, it changes everything. But keeping it secret makes me no better than Dad. Lydia pressed for details, but Marcus shut down, the marriage straining under unspoken truths. Ethan, meanwhile, received a cryptic email from Eleanor. "Your brother's hurting more than you know. Dig into the family history." Intrigued, he delved into online archives, uncovering hints of their father's double life. Dad? Gay? Or bisexual? The irony hit hard. All those lectures on family honor, and he was living a lie. Fury mixed with empathy. Did Marcus know? Is that why he disowned me, to protect the illusion? Confrontation loomed. Ethan booked a flight back to New York, heart pounding. I need answers, even if it destroys us. On the plane, he scripted the conversation in his head, oscillating between accusation and understanding. What if this unites us, or shatters the last remnants? David supported the trip, but warned, "Don't let him manipulate you." Ethan nodded, but inside, turmoil brewed. Am I seeking closure or revenge? Marcus, sensing the impending storm, paced his office. The letters burned a hole in his drawer. I have to face this, but pride held him back. A board member casually mentioned diversity initiatives, and Marcus bristled, his hypocrisy glaring. I'm becoming the monster I feared. The moral dilemma weighed heavy. Admit the truth and risk the empire, or perpetuate the cycle of denial? As Ethan landed, A text from Marcus arrived. "We need to talk." The simplicity belied the earthquake ahead. Ethan replied affirmatively, steeling himself. This could heal or break us forever. The drive to the family estate felt eternal, each mile amplifying his inner monologue. "Brother, what have we become? Victims of our father's sins?" The heavy oak doors of the Harrington estate swung open, and Ethan stepped into the foyer, the familiar scent of polished wood and aged books assaulting his senses like a ghost from the past. Marcus stood there, tie loosened, eyes shadowed with something Ethan hadn't seen before: vulnerability. "Thanks for coming," Marcus muttered, leading him to the study without preamble, the silence thick with unspoken accusations. They sat across from each other, the desk a barrier symbolizing years of distance. Ethan broke first. "Why, Marcus? After raising me, you throw me away like trash." Marcus winced, fingers drumming the armrest. "He deserves the truth. But where do I start?" "It wasn't just about you," he admitted, voice cracking. "It was fear. The company, the legacy. Dad drilled it into us." Ethan leaned forward, eyes blazing. "Legacy? You mean the one built on lies?" Marcus's head snapped up. "What do you know?" Pulling out printed emails from Eleanor, Ethan slid them across. "Dad's affairs. With men. You knew, didn't you?" Marcus's face paled, the room spinning in his mind. "How much does he suspect about me?" "I just found out." He lied at first, then corrected. "No, I suspected, but confirming it. It broke me." The confession hung heavy, Ethan's shock mirroring Marcus's turmoil. Our father, the hypocrite, and Marcus, complicit? "You disowned me knowing this?" To hide his shame. The argument ignited, voices rising. Marcus defended. "I was protecting us. Investors would flee if word got out." Ethan shot back. "Protecting? You destroyed me. Lost my job, my place in the family." Tears welled in Marcus's eyes, a rare sight. "I failed him, failed myself." Internally, he wrestled. Admit my own attractions? Or let him think it's just prejudice? "Ethan, there's more. In college, I felt things. For a guy. I buried it, married Lydia, built this life. Seeing you live openly terrified me. Reminded me of what I sacrificed." Ethan reeled, the revelation a gut punch. Marcus, gay too? Or bi? All this time, suffering in silence? Empathy clashed with rage. "You chose the closet over me? Let society dictate our lives." Marcus nodded miserably. "I thought it was strength. Now I see it's cowardice." The brothers sat in stunned silence, the weight of shared secrets pressing down. We're mirrors of each other, trapped in the same cage, Ethan thought. But betrayal lingered. He could have been my ally. Instead, he became my enemy. Lydia entered, sensing the tension. "Marcus told me everything," she said quietly. "I love him, but it's tearing us apart." Ethan glanced at her, seeing the cracks in their perfect marriage. "She's collateral damage in our family's mess." The conversation shifted to mending fences, but doubts swirled. Marcus proposed reinstating Ethan at the company, but Ethan hesitated. "Is this genuine or damage control?" "I need time," he said, standing to leave. Marcus grabbed his arm. "Please, don't go like this." Ethan pulled away. "You made your choice. Now live with it." Back in California, Ethan confided in David, the story pouring out. "My brother's like me, but he chose denial." David held him, but Ethan pulled back. "If Marcus can hide for decades, what if I regress?" The moral quagmire deepened. Is outing our father's secret ethical? Or does it honor his memory by exposing the truth? Sleepless nights followed, Ethan questioning identity. Am I defined by this pain, or can I rise above? Marcus, alone in the estate, confronted Lydia. "I never loved you the way you deserved," he confessed. She nodded, tears streaming. "I suspected, but I stayed for the life we built." The marriage teetered, Marcus's inner conflict peaking. Coming out now would cost everything: company, reputation. But staying in hurts more. He drafted a resignation letter, then tore it up. Coward, he berated himself. Aunt Eleanor called again. Tell Ethan the full truth. Your father wanted redemption in his last days. Marcus agonized. Redemption? By burdening us? The pressure mounted, pushing him toward a breaking point. Ethan, meanwhile, researched support groups seeking solace. Perhaps forgiveness starts with understanding. But as emails from Marcus piled up, unread, resentment festered. He wants absolution on his terms. What about mine? The stage was set for deeper confrontation, the family's fractures widening. Rain lashed against the windows of Marcus's Manhattan penthouse, mirroring the tempest in his soul as he stared at the unread messages to Ethan. How many more chances will he give me? Lydia had packed a bag, heading to her sister's for space. Her parting words echoing, fix this, Marcus, or lose everything. Alone, he poured a scotch, the burn matching his self-loathing. I've built an empire on facades. Time to tear it down. In Palo Alto, Ethan scrolled through those messages, finger hovering over delete. David's voice cut through. Read them. Closure. Remember? Reluctantly, Ethan opened one. I was wrong. Come home. We need to honor Dad's truth together. Honor? After the damage? Rage surged, but curiosity won. He replied curtly, meet me in New York. Neutral ground. The flight back felt like marching to war, inner voices clashing. Forgive and heal, or confront and sever. The choice defines me. They met at a quiet cafe in Central Park, autumn leaves swirling like unresolved emotions. Marcus arrived first, rehearsing apologies. Ethan sat stiffly, arms crossed. Start talking, he demanded. Marcus laid it all bare. The college crush, suppressed desires, Dad's letters detailing his own struggles. He regretted the lies, wanted us free. Ethan absorbed it, tears pricking. Free? We're chained by his legacy. Why didn't you fight for me then? Marcus hung his head. Fear. But now, I'm ready to change. The discussion turned raw, accusations flying. Ethan, you betrayed me for status. Marcus. And you think outing yourself was brave? It forced my hand. Hurt deepened, but beneath it, understanding flickered. We're both victims of the same poison, societal judgment. Ethan shared his own pains. Lost friends, job hunts tainted by whispers. Marcus listened, guilt compounding. I caused this. My brother suffering because of my weakness. A bombshell dropped when Marcus revealed, I'm stepping down as CEO, announcing it publicly with the truth about Dad and me. Ethan's jaw dropped. He's coming out, 45, risking it all? Shock mixed with admiration, but skepticism lingered. For show or real? Marcus met his gaze. Real. I want you back in the company as equals. The offer tempted, but Ethan wavered. Accept and validate his past sins? Or walk away independent? Lydia joined unexpectedly, her presence a wild card. I'm filing for divorce, she announced calmly. But I support you both. Marcus reeled, the loss hitting hard. My choices destroyed my marriage. Ethan saw the pain, empathy surging. He's paying the price now. The trio talked late, dissecting family dynamics. Lydia confessed, I knew about Marcus's attractions early. Stayed for love, but it wasn't enough. Ethan pondered. Love in denial, is it love at all? Back at his hotel, Ethan called David, voice breaking. Marcus is like us, but his betrayal. Can I trust him? David urged caution. Protect your heart. Ethan journaled furiously. Forgiveness feels like surrender, but holding grudge poisons me. What's the right path? Dreams plagued him. Dad's ghost pleading for truth. Marcus, meanwhile, drafted a press release, hands shaking. This could ruin the company, alienate allies. Board members called, sensing turmoil. He deflected, but resolve hardened. For Ethan, for myself. A late-night email to Ethan. Brother, let's rebuild. Reading it, Ethan felt a shift. Perhaps redemption is possible. The next day, they reconvened at the estate. Tensions peaked when Ethan demanded, prove it. Tell the world now. Marcus hesitated, then nodded. Together they composed a statement. But as they hit send, doubt crashed. Is this liberation or mutual destruction? Media frenzy loomed, society's judgment inevitable. Ethan thought, we've ignited a fire. Will it warm or burn us? The press conference room buzzed with reporters, flashbulbs popping like fireworks as Marcus stepped to the podium, Ethan at his side. A united front amid the chaos. Today, I resign as CEO of Harrington Enterprises. Marcus began, voice steady despite the quake inside. Not for failure, but for truth. My father lived a hidden life, loving men in secret. And I've denied my own bisexuality for too long. Gasps rippled through the crowd, cameras zooming in. Ethan watched, heart pounding. This is it, the point of no return. Marcus continued. I disowned my brother Ethan for being gay, hypocritically. I was wrong. He's the brave one. Applause mixed with murmurs, the world shifting under their feet. Pride swells, but fear lingers. What backlash awaits? Ethan stepped forward. We've paid dearly for silence. No more. Internally, he battled. Am I complicit now, exposing Dad's secrets? Is this justice or violation? Post-conference, the brothers retreated to the estate, adrenaline crashing. You did it, Ethan said, a tentative hug bridging years of divide. Marcus pulled back, eyes misty. We did. But Lydia's gone, the board's furious. Ethan nodded. Costs of freedom. Reflection hit hard. My job back? Or forge my own path? Calls flooded. Support from LGBTQ groups. Vitriol from conservatives. A family friend texted, You've shamed us all. Marcus deleted it, but the sting remained. Society's not ready, but are we? David flew in, embracing Ethan. Proud of you. But tension arose when Marcus joined dinner. Awkward silences punctuated talks of future. Can we truly reunite? Or is the damage irreversible? Marcus confessed more. Dad's lover was his business partner, ruined when exposed. Ethan absorbed, cycles repeating. We broke it. Yet, doubt whispered. Did we? Or just shifted the burden? Weeks later, the company stabilized under interim leadership, Ethan consulting remotely. Personal tolls mounted. Marcus in therapy, grappling with identity. I mourn the life I lost, he admitted to Ethan over video. Ethan empathized. Me too, but we're alive now. Inner monologues intensified. Marcus. Was denial safer? No, it was death. Ethan. Forgiveness heals, but scars remind. A family gathering tested bonds. Relatives divided. Some embraced, others shunned. Aunt Eleanor beamed. Your father would be proud. But a cousin sneered. You've destroyed the legacy. Fists clenched, Marcus defended. No, we've honored it with honesty. Ethan supported, but inside, the price, isolation, judgment. Worth it? As months passed, brothers grew closer, co-authoring a book on their journey. Launch event. Packed. Inspiring. Yet, Ethan pondered privately, moral victories feel Pyrrhic. Betrayals linger. Marcus echoed in talks. Choices define us. Mine nearly broke us. In quiet moments, Ethan stared at old photos, peace elusive. We've awakened, but at what cost? The story closed not in resolution, but reflection. Was disowning a loved one for their sexuality ever justifiable, even under societal pressure?